taking apart this switch and then turning it into a clear switch. So I wanted to do this video without looking up online how to do it, just using the instructions that came in the box. But when I got it, there were literally no instructions with the box that came with it. So this is more of a... This one I would definitely make sure you know what you're doing before you get into it, because it is more complicated than just taking off a couple pieces and then putting it back on. So let's start with the main body. Just turn it on to clarify that it works. Let's turn it off. Always make sure it's off before you start using it. Looks like we have 2 Phillips screws in the bottom, 1 on the top, and then some Y-shaped screws here in the sides. So let's start by taking off the top first. These are a lot of very, very small screws. So if you have an organizer, I would highly recommend using it. These all look the same, but I'm going to keep them organized just so I know exactly where each of them go. Okay, so now the screws in the base itself have this weird 3-pointed Y shape to them. So you're going to need specialized tools in order to do this. There is another Phillips head here by the micro SD card slot. I should mention this clear case also did come with a screen protector, but is one of the worst ones I've ever seen and will definitely not be using it on here. Tried to put it on, immediately had a whole lot of problems. Okay, so it appears that one of these screws is also holding it on. So we're just going to start taking them off and find out how many of them need to come off. Alright, so it's just the 2 in the very center here that need to come off of the rails before the whole thing can come off. And then looking at the back of this, you can see that you still need to keep the game tray card protector and this little assembly down here that holds on the terrible kickstand. I must say this doesn't feel as high of quality as the one that the Switch does come with, but it looks way better and have no complaints about the physical appearance of this. So the screws for the bracket here on the kickstand and the game card protector do appear to are both Phillips, except in the one holding on the spring for the kickstand is another Y shaped one. So this is an incredibly small amount of parts that are needed for this. So unless you're absolutely confident, I would not recommend attempting this on your own.
There's the back all installed. It is a bit more flimsy than the one from Nintendo is. You can feel a little bit of flex in here, but overall I think it looks fantastic.
It isn't too bad in quality. Alright, let's turn it back on. I should mention this cost about $44 to buy, and here we go, powering on. Yep. So it does work. Now let's move on to the Joy-Con.